everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, of course, Brenda, and today I come to you in my full glory of curly hair. Yeah, this is my natural hair here. I just usually don't do much with it in the summer because it's over 100 degrees every day here in Arizona now, and the moment I break a sweat, my hair just goes poof, and there's no point in even fighting the curl. So from about June to September, my hair looks like this. It's a mess, but we deal with it, right? We deal. I don't mind. It's fine. All right, so this week I come to you with a topic that's near and dear to my heart, unfortunately. I am going to talk to you guys about emotional eating. If you've never experienced it, you are one lucky bastard because this is something I've struggled with for the majority of my life, and it's gotten me into a lot of trouble when it comes to my weight. And I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of people who struggle with emotional eating as well. It's an eating disorder, basically, one of the many. Let me just break it down for you a little bit. If you've never experienced it and you're not really sure what it is, emotional eating, it's basically using food to make yourself feel better. It's eating to satisfy your emotional needs rather than to satisfy your physical hunger. I can say that this is definitely something that started for me early in my life, like childhood. I grew up in a household where basically everything revolved around food. Family celebrations, and I mean, my family's huge, so we celebrated basically weekly when it comes to one person, you know, like a birthday or communion or baptism or something. There was always something going on. So basically every weekend it was a family get together with a crap load of food that I would take down until I could no longer fit anything in my body. And yeah, it's a horrible way to do it, but that's the way it happened. It started early in life. Like I said, I used to deal a lot with bullying when I was a kid. I used to get bullied by either family members, like mean kids basically, or mean kids at school. And I would come home upset, and my mom would make me something yummy to eat to make me feel better. And that's basically where it started. I mean, I don't want to blame my parents. My mom was just trying to make me feel better about people being crappy to me at school, because I just ran with it. You know, as an adult, I still kept doing that. I kept feeding myself to make myself feel better about situations that were happening in my life. It's just the way you know, you get accustomed to doing something, and thus you just run with it. You're in your comfort zone with the comfort food, and that's the way it rolls, you know. But the biggest thing for me was recognizing my triggers, and that is the one thing that everybody who has this issue should do, is recognize your triggers. Like, what is making you eat when you're not hungry? Is it stress at home, at work, at school? Is it maybe depression? Are you sad because you're alone? Are you sad because you lost someone? Are you sad because, you know, you're in a better relationship? Is it maybe just nerves? Do you eat when you're nervous because you have an interview coming up, or you're about to meet somebody for the first time that you met online, so you're nervous, you're just nibbling on something because you're trying to make yourself feel better and calm down from the nerves? There's a lot of things that can cause emotional eating. Those are probably just 3 of the triggers that I can think of right now. But yeah, it's just a matter of trying to figure out what is causing you to eat this food that you're not actually hungry for. You're just trying to make yourself feel better by feeding yourself. And I'm not gonna lie, if that's something that you do constantly, you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble when it comes to your health, because you're adding all these extra calories to your nutrition for the day that you don't really need, and you're adding on more weight. And I did that for many years, so many years. I'm gonna say over 30 years that I did that. That is a long time to not recognize that you're feeding yourself food that you don't really need. I was feeding myself food that my body wasn't asking for. It was my brain. It was my, it was my emotions that were getting the best of me, because I fed every emotion. I didn't just feed sadness. I fed anger. I fed happiness. I fed nerves. I fed stress. I fed everything. And that's why I got as big as I did. I've got to say, though, that my first spout of depression happened when I was a teenager. I gave myself insomnia from this depression. I was experiencing migraines, and I had absolutely no energy. My personality changed so much that the person I was dating at that point dumped me. So I also experienced my first heartbreak at that point. And all I wanted to do was eat. And I was eating so much. I was 18 maybe? Yeah. I blamed all of it on just being lazy. I thought I was being lazy. I didn't know I was actually dealing with depression. I look back on my life now, and I know at that point that was my first bout of depression. And I never realized that's what it was. Shortly after that, I lost my dad. And that was the first time I ever lost someone really close to me. I mean, I had lost grandparents, but I didn't really know them well because they lived in Mexico and I lived here. So I can't really say I was close to them. I got sad, but I didn't feel the loss like I did when I lost my dad. He was the first person that was really immediately close to me that I lost. And I was 18 years old when that happened. And I didn't really know how to deal with it. Again, I fed my feelings. And in 2005, I lost my mom. And I got completely out of control with that situation when it comes to feeding my feelings. Emotional eating was taken to a whole new level after she passed away, because as much as I loved my dad, I was so close to my mom. She was barely starting to get to know me as an adult. I was her baby. I was her last born. And she took care of me as if I was a baby my entire life, even until I was adult. She handled me with kid gloves my entire life. She always wanted to protect me. And when I hit adulthood, I had a conversation with her and she finally started backing off of me at that point, and she started to gain to know me as a person. And so I was just starting to get to know my mom as a person and not just as my mom. We were starting to build this relationship, and then I lost her. And that was really rough for me. And I was trying to be really strong for my family, because when she passed away, everybody fell apart. She was like the pillar. She held everybody together. She was the reason we always got together. We had family get-togethers because of her. She was always pushing it that we had to be together. And that kind of doesn't happen anymore as much, and I know it's because she's no longer around. But, that's neither here nor there. But, losing her for me was rough. And I honestly didn't deal with the grief very well because, like I said, I was trying to be strong for my sisters. Me being the youngest, for some reason, I felt like I needed to be there as the strong person. So I didn't even realize when I actually entered my depression stage after losing my mom. I could have been in depression this entire time, you know, like for maybe 4 or 5 years. But I didn't realize I was depressed until maybe 2 or 3 years after my mom passed away. Because I had gained a fuck ton of weight. I had gained so much weight, it was ridiculous. I gave myself, again, insomnia. It was a situation where any little stress or any emotional thing that I need to feel caused me to eat. Stress at work. I was snacking all fucking day. All day on my desk. I had snacks in my desk and I was constantly eating all day long. I don't even know how I got work done with as much as I was eating at my desk. This sounds horrible, but it's true. Then I would leave work and my sadness would hit because I no longer had something else to keep my brain busy, which was work. That was my distraction. And when the sadness would hit, then I would go home and just eat. Either I would order something at home and have it delivered, or I'd pick up something from the drive-thru and take it home and just eat. I would sometimes sit there crying and eating. Like, it's really hard to think about that, but it's true. And sometimes, like on the weekend, my family wouldn't see me because I would spend the whole weekend at home just in my pajamas, watching movies. I would rent movies from the Redbox, and I'd be watching movies, and I would literally have like a box of pizza and all this Chinese food takeout or I had ordered in. I would literally sit there all weekend just feeding my face. I would go to this bakery because they used to they used to sell small cakes. Like an 8-inch cake. It's like this tall, maybe, and about this big. Yeah, it's hard to explain it. But, I mean, the bakery was delicious. But I would buy a cake, and I would eat it, watching a movie. Like, in the 2-hour span that the movie was on, I would sit there with a cake right here in my hand, a fork over here, and I wouldn't even bother serving it. I would just start shoveling it into my face. And by the time the movie was over, the cake was gone. Yeah, I was ridiculous. I told you guys I took my emotional eating to a whole new level after my mom passed away. When I realized that I was having some issues, it was because I was starting to fall asleep everywhere. I was falling asleep at work. I was falling asleep driving, which is fucking dangerous, you know? I was falling asleep constantly, even though I was getting some sleep, but not quality sleep at night. So I almost got myself fired because of that situation at work. So I went to a doctor. He had me get a sleep study done, and they told me that I had sleep apnea. So I gave myself another sleeping disorder because of my horrible eating habits and all the weight that I had gained. Yeah, sleep apnea. I now had to sleep with a mask at night in order for my brain not to shut off while I'm sleeping. What's scared me the most about that was when I got diagnosed and the doctor explained it all to me, you know, what the symptoms were. He was basically explaining to my dad. My dad totally had it, and he never got diagnosed. And my sister and I discussed his, you know, the cause of death on his death certificate in Mexico, and we always said he had a stroke, but in Spanish the diagnosis was paro cardiorrespiratorio, which is he stopped breathing, so his heart stopped. The man died in his sleep. My dad died in his sleep because his brain didn't wake him up when he stopped breathing. because of his undiagnosed sleep apnea. And that hit me hard. It hit me so hard. Like, and unfortunately, it sent me into a spiral that was even worse. Like, I gained even more weight after that. I had no control. I had absolutely no control, and I wasn't even trying to fix it. I just wanted to make sure, that I was sleeping with that mask, because I didn't want to die in my sleep. I didn't want to be like my dad in that sense. So I was sleeping with that mask every night because I did not want to die in my sleep. But I still continued with my bad habits. I was still, eating at every opportunity. I went through bad relationships, ate more. I changed jobs, and it turned out to be a horrible decision because it was just a worse situation there. Ate more. Ate out the job, ate at home. The friendships that I had at that point were people who were constantly eating bad shit too, that were having me cook for them things that I shouldn't be eating anymore either. So ate even more. It's just, my life was just food. I was feeding every emotion instead of dealing with them. And now I know better. So whenever I feel like I'm gonna go grab something to eat, I stop myself and I ask myself, are you actually hungry? Or are you trying to feed something here? That's the first thing I ask myself, because I first think about, when was the last time I ate? If it just happened an hour ago, I am not hungry. There is no fucking way I'm hungry, because when I eat to get full. And I eat healthy food, of course, but I eat to get full. And if it's been a while, then yeah, I'm gonna be hungry. So I'll allow myself to eat. But it's a constant battle of, it's a mental thing. It is a mental thing. You have to recognize the triggers of what is causing you to want to eat. If you're stressed out, if you're angry about something, go do something that's going to, relieve that stress and that anger, rather than, shove food into your face. Go for a walk. Go to the gym. If your gym has a punching bag and you're experiencing some anger, let it out there. Do you know how cathartic that is? I took 3 kickboxing classes earlier this year, and holy fuck, boxing, that punching bag is amazing. Let me tell you, I highly recommend it. So yeah, it's cathartic. If you're happy, you don't have to eat everything in front of you. You don't have to reward yourself with food when something good happens in your life. That's not the only way to reward yourself. Like with me, anytime I attained a goal when it came to my fitness, I rewarded myself with a new pair of gym shoes, or a new gym outfit, something that was going to help me get further in my journey, rather than set me back with food. There's just a lot of different ways you can do this. But the first step, like I said, is just recognizing what your triggers are, and get a handle on it, because that's the hardest part. Ask yourself questions. Don't just act. If you just ate, if you're reaching for something, and you ask yourself, when was the last time you ate, and it was just 30 minutes ago, you're probably not hungry. So think a little harder as to why you're reaching for this food again. Did you not get full when you ate earlier? Were there not enough, did you not hit all your macros in that meal? If you did, and you did, then put that food back. It's not your body craving it. It's your emotions wanting you to feed it. Figure out what that emotion is, and find a way to deal with it instead of feeding it. I know it sounds easier said than done, and it is. I know it is, but it didn't happen overnight for me either. But fucking do it, seriously. I'm going to give you a number right now that I haven't revealed to anybody besides my coach. 465.4. That was the weight I was at when I started this journey 2 years ago. 465.4. That was all emotional eating. I put myself in that range with all the food that I put into my body. It's mind-blowing to me. Like, what the fuck was I doing? Why would I do that to myself? I don't want to cry. I think back and like I can't even explain it. I don't, because I'm not the same person anymore. I've come such a long way from the Brenda 3 years ago. You know, I'm such a completely different person now. This girl right now, nuh-uh. I look back at that person and I'm like, what in the holy fuck were you doing? Why? Why are you doing this to yourself? Because I didn't love myself. That's all there is to it. I had no love for myself. I didn't know. I didn't value myself. I didn't think I was worth anything. That's a combination of all the things I'd experienced, you know, the bad relationships, all the rejection I dealt with in many different ways. But, you know, that's all it comes down to. I didn't love myself. So I just kept feeding every emotion that came through my body. And it's sad to me. You know, it's just fucking sad that I coasted through life for more than 20 years. I just coasted. I allowed myself to be that person that was just content. No more. I deserve better than that. I know me now. I know what I deserve. I know what I'm worth. I value me. I love myself. I will always love myself more than I will love anybody else, because I will never allow anybody again to take advantage of me the way I've been taken advantage of in the past. And that's all there is to it. Okay. I think that's all I had to say. See the smile over here? It's genuine. I'm happy. I really am happy with where my life is at right now. And I know I keep saying that, but it's just the fucking truth. I'm not here to put on a show for you guys. I'm here to share with you what I've gone through, because maybe you're going through the same thing and you don't know how to go about it, you know? And I was lucky and blessed. Blessed is the word. I was just blessed to make this life change, get the right people in my environment, kick out the people that no longer needed to be there, you know, and have all this positive energy, these people that support me and are helping me, you know, with this life change that I've made. Just blessed. Yeah, that's all there is to it. So find yourself some people that support you. Find yourself some people that will bring you that positive energy. Find yourself some people that won't judge you, you know, and want to help you. I was lucky. And I attracted them after I changed my attitude towards myself. Because when I changed my attitude towards myself, my attitude changed for everybody else too. It's amazing, right? It's amazing what will happen when you start loving yourself. That's all there is to it. Okay, guys, I've been rambling on for almost 25 minutes, and I apologize. But like I said, this one was very near and dear to my heart, and I had to get everything out to you guys. Otherwise, there would be no point to this. All right, well, that's it. I am done talking, and I'm about to kill the rest of this bottle of water because I've been talking for 25 minutes, and it's a long time. So you guys have an amazing week, and I will see you on my next video.